Hello. So this is a Mighty Mule 360. I purchased it about 2 years ago, and I used it for about a year, and I needed to redo my gate, so I took it away, hung it up for a year. I just put it back up a couple weeks ago, and within 2 days it failed. When I was using it a year ago, I did notice that water was getting into the unit. As you can see, all the residue there in the bottom. I was getting ants inside. A lot of the symptoms that you've been finding on YouTube with complaints about failures of this Mighty Mule model and other models. When my unit stopped working, you press the remote button and it would move an inch and then close an inch. Sometimes it would just click. Sometimes it would give an audible beep, one beep. I changed batteries and then it would beep 5 times. I sourced it out to multiple different possibilities, but after looking at all the YouTube videos, I pretty much figured I was either going to have to replace the rev board, which I did. The old rev board didn't look corroded in any way. It was the cheapest part to replace. I put it all back together and I was still having the same problem. So I ended up buying a new motor. I bought this on Amazon. It was about $56. I know you can buy it cheaper. I just bought the replacement that already had the gear on it. I had reassembled everything. There was a lot of moisture in here. I had actually tested the old motor before I replaced it to 12 volts, and it was smoking and sparks were flying. So at that point I knew it was the motor. I've already disassembled and reassembled, watching another YouTuber. I resoldered the wires back onto this new motor. I've actually put it all back together and it is working again. But I've taken it apart to probably drill some new holes, reseal the unit. I didn't want to go to that extent until I knew that this was fixed. This is the washer that seats inside the mold. This is a wimpy, crappy looking string like washer. I don't know what they were thinking. When I took it out, it had shifted like you saw, so obviously that wasn't sealing very well. I did notice if you take this apart, start off with these bolts and work to these. When I found it, when I was reassembling it, I discovered, of course, that these holes for these screws have a wide gap, so it shifts on adjustment. You don't want to tighten these first when you put it back together. You want to assemble these two joints around the bearing. If you screw these in tight and try to seal this, there will be a gap. You could potentially crack the casing. So you want to put this together first. Put these in loosely, and then once it seats and you have a good free spin, then you can secure these up. This is the old motor. Nothing visually wrong with it other than this, except when you power it up and you see the smoke and the fire. So that was a waste. So I'm going to take the rev board off. This is, of course, the bottom. You can see dead ants in there from some time ago. All of the bolts had corrosion on there. As I was taking it apart, I was pretty much certain that this unit just corroded inside. If you can see down here in the bottom, they have one drain hole. It's a pin-size hole. And then this portion, which the mount butts up against, it's lower than this drain hole. And this probably filled with water. I had taken it apart a couple times and found water in it. So the water just sits in this low spot, and condensation takes its toll. This is the cover, of course, that goes on the very bottom. This hole here, this tiny hole, this lines right up with this hole. So I'm going to drill this out, make this hole bigger, And I am probably going to put a couple pinholes in this bottom reservoir to try to, you know, keep it out. I will seal this as other YouTubers have done when they put it back together. That will help a little, but I know that as this shaft goes in and out, you know, you've got a little seal here. But if you do this level, you know, some people are lowering this end onto the gate with the reasoning that water's going to run off, but water's going to sit on this rod either way, no matter if it's level or not. And of course, when it's going in and out of the casing, you know, I know it's bringing water in this way too. I don't know if there's a surefire way to seal that, but I'll just do the best I can, get it all back together, and we should be good to go. Thanks for watching.